In the tumultuous landscape of the 20th century, the world witnessed numerous wars that shaped the course of history. In this video, we present you a short summary of important wars in the 20th century, including the affected countries and motives behind the war. Starting with the First World War erupted in 1914 due to a complex web of political alliances, territorial disputes, and rising nationalism. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary by a Serbian nationalist acted as the catalyst, drawing the major powers of Europe into a devastating conflict. The war pitted the Central Powers, including Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire, against the Allies, composed of Britain, France, Russia, and later joined by the United States. Following the fallout of the Great War, the world found itself in the grip of the Russian Revolution, 1917 to 1922. The revolution marked a significant turning point in the history of the Russian Empire, leading to the overthrow of the monarchy and the rise of communism. Led by Vladimir Lenin and the Bolsheviks, the revolution brought about radical societal changes and sparked a civil war between the Red Army and the White Army, composed of various anti-communist factions. Within the complex tapestry of conflicts, the Spanish Civil War, 1936 to 1939, erupted as a struggle for power and ideology. The Republicans, representing leftist and anarchist factions, clashed with the nationalists, led by General Francisco Franco and supported by fascist forces. The war became a battleground for opposing political ideologies, drawing international attention and involvement. The nationalists ultimately prevailed, paving the way for Franco's authoritarian rule in Spain. Years later, in 1939, the world was once again engulfed in the flames of war with the advent of World War II. The primary causes of this global conflict were the aggressive expansionist policies of Adolf Hitler's Nazi Germany, Japan's imperial ambitions in the Pacific, and the failure of appeasement policies. Tensions escalated as countries sought to protect their national interests and ideological beliefs. As the 20th century progressed, other conflicts flared up. The Korean War, 1950 to 1953, began when North Korea, supported by the Soviet Union and China, invaded South Korea in an attempt to reunify the country under communist rule. The United Nations, led by the United States, intervened to support South Korea and halt the spread of communism. The Vietnam War, 1955 to 1975, stemmed from the broader Cold War struggle between the communist forces of North Vietnam, supported by the Soviet Union and China, and the anti-communist forces of South Vietnam, backed by the United States and its allies. It was fueled by the desire to contain communism and protect national interests. Amidst the global tension of the Cold War, the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan in 1979 had multiple motives. The Soviet Union sought to prop up a communist regime, secure its strategic interests in the region, and prevent the spread of Islamic fundamentalism. The resistance fighters, known as the Mujahideen, received support from various countries, including the United States, which saw the conflict as an opportunity to weaken the Soviet Union. In 1989, the fall of the Berlin Wall marked the end of the Cold War era, reshaping the geopolitical landscape. The causes of the conflicts vary, but they all reflected the complex interplay of power, ideology, territorial disputes, and the quest for influence in an increasingly interconnected world. The 20th century also bore witness to the Gulf War, 1990 to 1991, a confrontation between Iraq and a coalition of international forces led by the United States. Iraq, under the leadership of Saddam Hussein, invaded Kuwait, triggering global condemnation. The coalition forces swiftly intervened to expel the Iraqi forces from Kuwait, leading to a brief but intense conflict that showcased the prowess of modern military technology. In the turbulent aftermath of the Cold War, The disintegration of Yugoslavia led to a series of bloody conflicts known as the Yugoslav Wars, 1991 to 2001. Ethnic tensions and nationalist aspirations fueled violence in Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Kosovo. These wars witnessed brutal ethnic cleansing, mass atrocities, and the collapse of multi-ethnic states. International intervention, including peacekeeping efforts and diplomatic negotiations, eventually led to the resolution of the conflicts and the establishment of independent states.